Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I have a little mess in the background. I was gonna clean it up, but I'm not done yet. I got a new table. So this is a big ass fucking table, like humongous. This is probably like those corporate tables that they use for meetings, and I'm just gonna have it for myself in my office. I don't know. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. A little mess. I mean, it's really not. It's just like a box and like two papers. One box, one paper is for instructions and wrapping. Oh, and then another box right here. And then more stuff to build from it. So suits the room vibe. Yep. Gets a bus size for just one person. I mean, dude, I have so much shit on my desk all the time. But my mind is crazy. I don't think you guys understand. Like sometimes I just need, oh, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. All right, cool. Let's get started. All right, let me share my screen. All right, boys, I want you guys to buckle up because today is gonna be the day where you guys, I think, you know, before I even mentioned that, have you guys had up to this point an aha moment? Have you had it? I believe I've had many different moments. Yes, yes. Okay, fire. Literally 90% of people have said yes. I guarantee you everybody has had a little, even a severe aha moment. Could have been one with the way I put my areas of interest, the way I emulate, the way I elim coño, eliminate them, the way how you do the round psychological areas. That there's had to be a couple of small aha moments. The two candle structure, there has to be a couple. If not, this week will be the aha moment, guaranteed. All right, cool. Let me share my screen. Bro, you're actually here for the whole 30 days. I thought you were gonna not be here. Brother, what the fuck do you mean? I feel like some people are just used to getting scammed. I think that's what it is. They actually get something remotely decent and they're like, this is amazing. Jesus. All right, cool. All right, can you guys type one if you can see my screen? Type two if no. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. All right, let me turn off the chat. All right, cool. Let's start off by acknowledging our first trade that I basically mentioned yesterday that we were going to be waiting for price to have a break and retest to then sell. Yep, exactly what we did. Broke, retest, and sold. Now you may be asking me, did you get in? Are you in this trade? Are you in? Are you not? Are you this? I don't know. Am I? Is there something you can see here where I can potentially get in? Or is there something that you can see where I potentially cannot? Oh, I'm new. I don't know what I'm looking for. Don't you worry. That's what today is about. So, follow up entity CAD going in our favor. I personally think it's going to have a pullback now. I think it's going to like come back to even like here and then go. I don't care whatever the outcome is. I'll make money on either way. GBP JPY hasn't had exactly what we wanted just yet. So if you notice, this is the first area of interest. We have pulled back into it exactly as we expected. And it's not having the reaction as much as NZD CAD. Why? Well, this is very simple. Why? One, NZD CAD has a daily area of interest. One, two, three, four, five. Daily area of interest. GBP JPY barely has a 4 hour area of interest. Well, it does have a 4 hour area of interest, but you see the difference of how much price respects. The higher the time zone, the higher the area of interest will be respected. Always remember that. The higher the time frame, the higher the area of interest will be respected. Okay, perfect. Let me continue with this right here. All right, so let's go to Euro JPY where we have the majority of our notes. I low-key hate how I have it a mess like this, but I like it. Because I just like do all this and then boom, it just becomes normal. All right, perfect. So today we're going to be talking about how to do a proper top-down analysis. How to do a proper top-down analysis. Let me just come over here. What is a top analysis? Well, we already know. You start from the top, you work your way down. The more you go down on the time frame, the more precise you see price action. We all agreed on this and we all understand on this and are on the same page. Now, how do you properly do a top-down analysis? Well, kind of like I was mentioning to you guys yesterday, I believe, we will always start our top-down analysis on the weekly time frame. We're going to always analyze every single trade we're going to be interested in taking as if it were to be a swing trade first. Always going to look at a swing trade, then we'll move over to a day trade. So we're always going to start off analyzing and trade as if we were going to take a swing trade. That is how we build the foundation of our top-down analysis. If we can't find a swing trade, then we're going to look for a day trade or a scalp trade, which is a trade with using the lower time frames. The perfect example for that is what just happened with GBP JPY. The lower time frames, areas of interest and trend and entry signals and all that doesn't work anywhere near remotely compared to the higher time frames. So you're going to always want to have a risk appetite for your swing trades, for your intraday trades, rather than your day or scalp. Don't think that because there's more opportunity in the day and the scalp trades that you're going to make more money. More opportunity doesn't mean more money in the trading space. Low risk opportunity is what equals high reward. Not high risk, high reward. Again, it's not the fucking casino. That's like the most like degenerate gambling quote ever. Just for people that want to go all in, that want to feel good about it. In trading, high risk does not mean high reward. It just means it's a high risk trade. You're very prone to losing. A low risk trade has a high reward because it has a low risk of losing. Now, remember, when something has a low risk, doesn't mean you're going to risk a little bit of money. That's not how it works. You're going to risk whatever you want to risk, but the probability of the trade losing is very low because you have more confidences and more confirmations than another trade, for example. But the key to that is understanding that the majority of the low risk trades are going to be swing and intraday trades. It is a fact that has been proven. Trust me, I've tried to work my way around this. Waiting for the swing and day trade is going to be a lot better than constantly executing day or scalp trades. You're going to get tired and fatigued by trying to execute these little trades rather than just having to wait for this. The best example that I can put for this is fishing. right? Yeah, fishing. So if you fish off of the coast, like these fellow friends right here, it's very fast. Like you left the boat from right here, you made it here in 5 minutes. You're throwing the rod, you're throwing the bait into the water in 10 minutes. It's very fast. The odds of you catching a fish are probably very quick because there's more opportunity for you to cast and you're going to have more time and you're ready to go quicker. But you're going to probably catch a fish like this. You're probably going to catch a fish like this. You're going to be happy like these kids are. But when you go deep sea fishing, is where you're then going to catch these motherfuckers and whatever the ginormous barracudas or marlins and all this shit. You can't catch these by the shore. You can't catch these. They're not by the shore. You got to go out there deep sea fishing. So what does that mean? If you notice, there's nothing around them. They're out by the oil rigs. Look how far they are. So it takes them more time to be able to throw the bait out. It'll probably take them 2 hours to just throw one bait out and start fishing. Compared to these guys, in 2 hours, they've probably thrown out 100 different types of baits because they've been here for so long. Versus when you're deep sea, you're gonna be able to have these type of fish, but it's gonna take you longer for those fish to get hooked because you have to go out there and go to where they are, which is a lot further. And then you have to wait. You have to wait for that bait to hit the bottom. The further you go out, the deeper the bait has to go. So if you're deep sea fishing, for you to throw the bait down there, it'll probably take an hour, for example, right? It's probably not legit, but let's just say it takes an hour to get to the bottom. When you're just fishing by the coast, it'll take you 1 minute for your trade to hit the for your bait to hit the bottom. So you're gonna have more throws here, but nothing's gonna like one fish from deep sea fishing will outweigh the whole entire day of just regular fishing. Literally, you can catch 30, 40 of these, but just one fish from deep sea will engulf everything you've done all day. And it's quote unquote less exhausting because you only had to reel in and put in one bait compared to when you're deep sea, compared to when you're just fishing off of the shore. You have to throw 100 different types. You constantly have to move spots. You have to put a bunch of different baits. Now, I'm not saying that's not fun or that's not, it doesn't bring in fish, which at the end of the day it does, but it doesn't compare to deep sea fishing. And it's the same thing here when you're doing a swing and day trade. Deep sea fishing is like swing and intraday trading. You're going to have to wait longer and you're going to have to go out deeper into the ocean, but the trades are bigger. There's just facts. Now, just because the trades are bigger doesn't mean that you're going to make more money. It all depends how much you risk. And once you get there, I'm going to break it down a little bit more. But the trades have the opportunity to be a lot bigger than these trades. These trades aren't meant to be big. They're meant to be quick and meant to have small profits. And you're more prone to getting stuck because you're going through like shallow waters. You're more prone to maybe not even catching anything because there's not a lot of fish in the shore and your hook could get stuck. Your hook getting stuck is like you losing a trade. So you're more prone to getting your hook stuck because you're in shallow waters compared to deep sea. You're not that prone to your hook getting stuck because the whatever the depth is so low. So this is always going to be better than this. I just want to put that into your guys' head and do not always want to take this. Create the foundation and the mindset that we are always going to analyze trades for a swing and intraday trade. And then if there's no opportunity, we will then go to a day trade. If that makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. Shit. Perfect. All right, cool. These are the results. So I'm sure it's very clear to understand. Amazing. So now that we understand that, this is how we're going to do a proper top-down analysis, always starting with the weekly trades. We're going to focus on how to do the day trades later on throughout the week. We're not going to make that a priority right now. Our priority is to understand how to go deep sea fishing first. Cool. So now that we understand that, this is what a top-down analysis is going to look like. I'm going to give multiple different scenarios. So let me actually just copy all this. Okay. So this is going to be scenario number one. So weekly time frame is looking something like this. This is how the weekly time frame is. Bullish, right? Very easy, very simple to understand, not difficult at all, right? Cool. This is how the daily time frame looks like. Boom. So if you notice, it's the exact same market structure. Obviously, I'm trying to make it fit into there perfectly, but it's the same move. This is just when you zoomed into it and you look at it a little bit more into detail, this is exactly how it looks. And then obviously the 4 hour is just going to have so much more price action that it's just going to look very overwhelming. And then you guys can understand that the lower the time frame, the more it has, right? So that's what the 4 hour looks like. So it's the same move, right? I tried to make it look like the same move, but it's just in the 4 hour. I'm sure we all understand that, right? Just do something like this, something like this. This is going to be so key for you guys to understand this. All right, cool. So I need you guys to pay major attention to this right now. So I'm sure we can all agree that currently the weekly time frame is currently bullish, right? We can all understand that this right here is the higher high and that this right here is the higher low. I'm sure we can all agree that this time frame is very much bullish. Cool. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to look like the weekly. And again, we're going to have a lot of lines and charts now, but I need you guys to pay attention. This is the weekly higher high. And this is the weekly higher low. So far, very easy, very simple. We all agree, right? So the first thing we do when we approach the markets, and write this down, is going to be doing a top-down analysis. And that is to understand what is the market doing. For me, if the market does not have a minimum of 2 time frames in sync, I am not interested in the market. We need to have a minimum of 2 consecutive time frames in sync. What do you mean, Alex? What the fuck is that? Okay, very easy. Weekly time frame is currently bullish. Daily time frame is currently bullish. And let's say for whatever reason, the 4 hour is bearish, right? Whatever reason it's bearish. And then the 4 hour time frame is bearish. Well, I am still interested in this trade because we have 2 consecutive time frames in sync. Or if we have the 4 hour bullish, and if we have the daily bullish but the weekly is bearish, for example. I am still interested in this trade because we have two consecutive time frames in one direction. Now, the easiest way that I can possibly make this for you guys is simply going to be this. I'm only interested. Let me just not make it caps. Weekly bullish. Or so these are the two possible scenarios. Weekly and daily bullish, the 4 hour doesn't matter. If it's bullish as well, hooray, even better. You have another reason to enter the trade. Or if you have the daily and the 4 hour bullish and the weekly is bearish. If the weekly is bullish, hooray, it's the same thing as this fucking top one. It's literally the same shit. So it only matters if we have two consecutive time frames, either daily in the 4 hour or weekly in the daily. It cannot be, and I know sometimes I have to write it like this, and I'm going to do it. This is not a trade that I would be interested in because this is not two consecutive time frames. There is one time frame bullish here, and there's one time frame bullish here. So this is not two consecutive time frames. Two consecutive time frames would have to be two time frames next to each other, which means that you're going to always need the daily to be with the trade that you're going to be taking. You either have the daily bearish with the weekly or the daily bearish with the 4 hour or all three together. If this makes sense, say yes or say no. Should be very self-explanatory. If you don't have two structures confirmed in the same direction, you cannot be interested in the trade, either weekly or daily and 4 hour. And if you have all three of them, fan-fucking-tastic. Even better. Okay, these are the results. So this is amazing that there's only 1% that don't understand. If you guys really don't understand, can you just like, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I believe in fat fingers. You know, I have fat fingers myself. Okay, cool. So now that we understand that, we have to do when we start our, so again, I'm going to get into the trading plan and get to like organizing everything in just a second, right? But first, I want to explain to you how top-down analysis properly works and how to spot if something is bullish or bearish correctly, and if it's something that you should even be interested in, and how to not get confused with the fake outs, right? So for right now, this trade, and again, I'm going to trick you guys, right? This trade is currently bullish on the weekly. Cool, right? So we have weekly bullish. Just come here and just put weekly bullish. All right, cool. We're off to a good start. Daily time frame. Are we bullish or are we bearish? Say it. Bullish or bearish? I believe we all agree we are bullish. This is the daily higher high. And then this is the daily higher low. Cool. We're bullish. All right, we have two consecutive time frames in sync. That means that we should be interested in taking this trade, right? Well, yes, based off of what I have told you, but this is where the trick comes in just a second. And in the 4 hour time frame, this is the 4 hour higher high, and then this would be the 4 hour higher low. If you guys agree with me and all this makes sense up to this point, say yes. If not, say no. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So practically 100% of the people understand it. Phenomenal. So now that we understand that, let me make sure we all understand that this is bullish. According to what I, well, yeah, according to what I just mentioned, we're supposed to be interested in this trade, right? Okay. Well, we're supposed to start off after understanding that we have two time frames in sync. Now that we are interested in this market, then we move on to the next step, which is spotting the area of interest. So step one of the trading plan, which I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'll talk about it, whatever. Step one is going to be trend. Step two is going to be area of interest. So we have just spotted the trend of the market. We understand exactly where the market is. Not necessarily because I haven't explained it fully just yet, but you have an idea of where the market is. So now we need to know where we're going to be ready to enter this trade, right? Damn it, because we got to know where the fuck we're going to enter the trade, right? We're going to the upside. Where do we enter the trade now? Well, this is what we have our trusty higher high and higher low box. And we're going to start working our way down in the event. Because remember, we can never buy anything at the high. You have to buy at the discounted price. So you have to wait for this to have a retracement. You have to wait for it to have a retracement. You cannot enter the trade without it having the retracement. You can never have this higher high. You always have to wait for the higher low. We're already past that. We already understand that. So where is this higher low going to stop before it then has this next push? Because all we're doing is aspiring to enter this push right here. Let's call this the golden push. Yellow, you can't really see it, so let's make it, yeah, orange is golden enough. We're all aspiring to enter this push right here, which is where the money's at, right? So this pullback, where is it going to stop? Let's say at this point right here. Let's pretend like this is an area of interest. Let's just pretend that this is an area of interest with 3 touches, right? Just for this example, so I don't fill up the chart with a bunch of different lines. Let's just pretend that this is an area of interest with 3 touches. So we start working our way down, boom. We hit this area, and this area has 3 touches. This becomes the area of interest. And just for this example, let's say we keep going down, this area hits it, and there's nothing here, right? So let's just say there's only one area of interest. So this is the weekly area of interest. Just put it right here. Weekly area of interest. Cool. So if that's the weekly area of interest, that this is how it's going to look like on this trade. And this is how it's going to look like on this trade. Right? So this is how the weekly area of interest looks like on the 4-hour. This is how the weekly area of interest looks on the daily. And this is how the weekly area of interest looks on the weekly. Cool. One area of interest. We're waiting for the price to pull back to then buy. Perfect. Now we move on to the daily. So again, if we look at our trusty lines over here, we can only put an area of interest on the weekly time frame. Oh, this is fucked up. There you go. We could only put an area of interest on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame. So the only other time frame we can look for an area of interest to have a proper swing trade is going to be on the weekly and the daily. I know I showed you an example here that we put a 4-hour area of interest, but that's kind of a scalp in a day trade. So don't get confused by that, right? Let's make it back over here. So now that we understand that we could only put an area of interest now on the daily time frame, where do we do it? Can this be a daily area of interest right here? Say yes if it does. If not, say no. Oh no. You know, This is scary. This is scary. This is scary. This is scary. I'm gonna go under the event that people got confused here, right? Now we are in the daily time frame, and the daily time frame is currently this. Now we have to put an area of interest, and I want to make this my area of interest. Can this be my area of interest? Say yes, if you believe so. Say no if it cannot be an area of interest. Okay. Okay. 6% more. Now, it is different from the last one. I'll tell you damn right now. I'll tell you that. And I want to know why 20% of you guys are making a major mistake right now. This can never possibly be the daily area of interest, ladies and gentlemen. If this price, we are expecting for it to have this pullback, right? Because we want this pullback to happen. This is what the pullback will look like on the daily, and this is what the pullback will look like on the 4 hour. If we want this pullback to happen, this, first of all, fuck this, right? Fuck the pullback. If this is bullish, this is the higher high and the higher low, this cannot be the area of interest. Like we've established that if we body close under this, we'll then be bearish. So how is that going to be the area of interest to then buy? Please help me understand why you put 20% or why 20% of you guys put that as the daily area of interest. Or you said that it could be. Please, only the 20%. Explain to me, was it a fat finger? Because the last poll was way worse than this. 2 touches, brother, because yeah, it doesn't matter. It could have 10 touches. If it's under the higher low, it's not valid. It could be later in the future. That's not the question that I asked you right now, though. It could be a fucking whatever in the future. But right now, I give you a lot of credit. I would be losing my mind right now if I was you. Who says I'm not? I thought you were asking about market structure. No, brother, you guys gotta listen to me, dude. So I said, can this be a daily area of interest, right? So if you noticed, what we're doing is we're looking for fucking areas of interest. We put the higher high and the higher low in the box. We could only have a fucking area of interest inside of the weekly, inside of the higher high and higher low. Same shit here. Oh, but yeah, this has 3 touches. This could be an area of interest. But not for right now. We're always going to do it like an analysis for right now. You don't want to have unnecessary boxes in your chart. This can never be a valid area of interest for the daily right now. This is the only area that you can have a valid daily area of interest inside of the higher high and inside of the higher low. If there's nothing in here, then there's no valid area of interest. You can't go and put one down here for when it pulls up there. You don't want it to pull up there because you want to buy here on the weekly. You want to buy here on the weekly. You don't want it to come here because then you're going to invalidate the whole weekly trade. And now you're just like all over the place. If this makes sense and you understood why you made your mistake, say yes. If not, say no. Jesus, you got me there. I can't even lie. Yeah, yeah. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. We're supposed to pretend and look for an area of interest in here. We're on the daily. We're not on the weekly. Okay, so I'm very glad that it makes sense now. So I'm gonna speak just a little slower, right? Because sometimes I speak very fast and I can lose people. Now, the daily time frame, we're going to look for a daily area of interest. Can this be a daily area of interest? Obviously not, because we are up here. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. So we would have to move a potential area of interest inside of here. So just for this example's purposes, right? Just for this example's purposes, let's pretend like this piece of structure right here has 3 touches, right? So we worked our way down, blah, 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 blah. This is where we have a daily area of interest. So let's just put daily area of interest, 3 touches, right? Let's put this all the way to the left. Now, this daily area of interest, this is how it looks like on the weekly time frame, right? So the daily area of interest looks like this in the weekly, and it looks like this on the daily. You can see the structure on where it is on the daily, but you can't see it on the weekly because the weekly, it doesn't show you that structure. That's what the daily's for, right? If you guys are with me so far and everything is making sense, say yes. If not, say no. So again, we're just going step by step. First thing is understanding the trend. We all know how to do that, right? We've all spotted the trend correctly. So like we're like at the point where we're kind of putting everything together that I have taught you guys up to this point. So now this is where things can probably be a little overwhelming because everything's kind of getting put together, but it's getting put together without even getting put together. That's going to make sense in just a second. So this is currently the way it works. Okay. So we have 98% that understand. Amazing. Phenomenal, right? So this right now, and I know it might look like a lot, and it's gonna look like a lot, and it's only gonna get a little bit more, but it's all gonna make sense. You're gonna know exactly what. Like if I would have shown you this right here at the beginning of the boot camp, you would have been like, what the fuck? But now you know exactly what everything is. You know exactly what these 2 lines are and how powerful they are. You know how to spot these area of interest and how that looks like on each time frame. You know what you're waiting for to get what you want, and you know what's the difference between all of this, right? So the progression has been serious. If you guys just want to take a second and realize that, don't beat yourself up if this doesn't make sense right away. It's not supposed to. This is something that took me years to really understand. So we could only find a daily and weekly area of interest because we are looking for a swing trade, right? Swing and intraday trade. And you can only have an area of interest on the weekly and on the daily. So it's established, we understand, we all agree. Now, this is what that area of interest looks like on the 4-hour, right? Let's just put it right here. So now that we're doing our top-down analysis, we've understood the trend and we've understood the areas of interest. Now, all we have to do is what? Let me see what you guys say. What do we do now that we've understood the trend and we've understood where the areas of interest is? What do we do now? Okay, literally 50-50. 50-50. Yep. I say, oh, yep, 50-50. So it's a little bit of a trick question, and a lot of you guys are getting it wrong. Some of you guys are getting it correct, and some of you guys brought up a point that I didn't want to bring up now, but I'll bring it up. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we've had many different comments, right? So I'm gonna write them right here, what the majority of people are saying. One, people are saying entry. Two, wait. Three, not rough, round, psych, whatever, level. Interesting, right? Three completely different answers. And I'm sure people have probably selected one of these three or potentially set all three. So I'm going to start off by the process of elimination. The first thing is you definitely cannot have a fucking entry because you're not at the area of interest. You can only look to enter a trade once you are here or once you are here. You enter the trade at the area of interest. Not just because you spotted it, fuck it, yeah, we're gonna enter and you're at the highest point. It doesn't make any sense. So you definitely cannot enter a trade. And the round psychological level was something that I was going to get into after. But technically, it's yes, the next step. More, you guys are going to get later why it's not that important. But sure, this would be the next step. And then the step after that would be to wait because you can't enter a trade unless we are at an area of interest. We've established this already. So for round psychological level, we'll just get our little horizontal ray right here. Put our coordinates. What do we have? 199. 500 doesn't exist. And then I'm sure the 199 is up here. And then 200,000, whatever is, look at that right there. So 200,000 fits perfectly into the daily area of interest, for example. So again, if you put a round psychological level on the daily, it's going to be the same fucking shit on the weekly and on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour and on the 1 minute and the 30 second because the area of interest box is the same in every time frame and the numbers is the same in every single time frame. So it's not like you have to put, excuse me, you don't have to put a new round psychological level in every single different time frame. It's the same zone in every single time frame. So you only put the round psychological level once. We're not going to do it in this example because it's impossible to put the same round psychological level when the boxes are all in different price points. This box is 96,500 and this box is in 200,000. So for this example, we won't be using round psychological level, which it really wouldn't be the next step, which it will, but it wouldn't. But again, whatever. It's not a big deal. So if this makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. Perfect. So we'll remove round psychological level and we'll remove entry. We're left with the famous challenge. Patience waiting. Fuck. Somebody is like, shit. Here comes where I need a psychologist, or here comes where I need a mentor, or here I need somebody. I need somebody to teach me how to do this. Like I need somebody else to force me to not do anything. I need someone to control me. Like if you were an animal. Like I need someone to hold me down. I need someone to take me out of the office and not look at the screen. I need brother, you don't need anybody or anything to have patience or to simply wait. If you don't have self-control, you're not meant for this. You're an adult. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. I guarantee you, you can wait if you really wanted to. You could wait. How many times have you unnecessarily waited for something that you did not want to do? You were waiting for a friend to go out. She fucking took too long. He took too long. And what'd you do? You waited. You wanted food and you were really hungry and you Uber Eats it or you ordered it on the go. What did you do? You waited for the food to get there. When you wanted to go on a date with someone and you really wanted to enter the trade, you put in the work, you waited to do what you had to do to get what you wanted. When you really want something and it's worth it, you're gonna fucking wait. You don't need somebody to come in and tell you, hey, you gotta wait, or you know what, you should really read this book so you learn how to wait. I think it's like the craziest I think it's the craziest shit inside of the trading niche and potentially one of the biggest battles every trader faces when to me it's the simplest one. Dude, you just got to do nothing. Imagine getting paid or making money for doing nothing. Like how hard can that fucking be? Very hard, obviously. I trust me, I went through it. But now that I'm on this side, it's like, bro, you're just overthinking it. Now you just gotta wait. You can't do it like you are a picture, like picture as if the markets were your boss. And right now, like your role as someone that works for the market is you only execute trades when it's at an area of interest. Right now, it's clearly not at an area of interest. So the boss, the market, hasn't given you an order or told you what to do just yet. You got to wait for it to do it. And when it does it is when it comes into this area of interest. If you don't do what the boss wants you to do, you're not going to make money. You're not following the rules. You're not following the orders. When you go around those orders, you lose money. The boss is going to take money away from you because you're not following the plan. He's going to fire you, whatever analogy you want to use. But the market is literally going to tell you what to do. When you're at the highest point and you're not at the area of interest, you can't do anything. You wait for the market to tell you what to do. When price is at the area of interest, now is when you are ready to execute the trade. The market is telling you what to do, and you're going to get compensated for waiting. That's it. Simply how it works. So this right here is going to be the tricky part now, right? Because, all right, let me see how I warm this topic up, right? Let me just stretch a little bit. Let's see if a lot of you guys remember, which I don't expect you guys to remember, right? I can't beat you guys up on this. Are we one, two, or three? Are we one, two, or three? Take your time. Try to find the pool. Are we one, two, or three? Hmm. And I would imagine that some of you guys are confused with this. I can tell by how many people have filled this poll out. And this leads me to understand that you guys aren't paying attention and not watching the damn recordings. But it's okay. I didn't talk about it much. I don't expect you guys to grab it fully. We only have 30% that have filled out the poll. By this time, we're probably at like 80, 85% already. Just answer something, right? Make a mistake. We'll fix it. No big deal. Just answer the poll. One, two, or three. Don't even look at this because this is not going to tell you anything. Like, this is has no connection to the correct answer. Okay, I'll end it. Clearly, some people are scared of filling out the poll. It's a mistake. It doesn't cost you anything. You learn from it. So these are the results. One is 37%, two is 39%, and three is 24%, right? So I can almost guarantee you 80% of this wrong. Maybe there's some people in the one section that know what this means, but this is what I mean. One, shit, fucking life. Two, three. This is what it means. One, you are at the higher high or the lower low. Two, you're on the way to the area of interest. And three, you're at the area of interest, right? So now that we understand this, let's redo this poll. Where are we? So I'll take some partial blame on this, but I don't want to because there's a majority that understand it and there's a majority that doesn't. So it is a bit confusing. We have 10% left. So we've all understood. And again, I literally just said this, and I don't understand how people put number two or put number three, right? Maybe because they get confused with this red line, but we have described that this is currently the higher high of where the market is, and this is what we want, and this is where we want to go. So maybe this red line they got confused, but this is not what the market is doing right now. This market currently right now is at number one. We are at a higher high. We're at a higher high on the weekly. We're on a higher high on the daily. This right now can just keep doing this. Keep pushing up. This right now is just could be doing this. Could keep pushing up. So when we are on the way to the area of interest is when we have a little reversal and this market starts to do something like this. When this market starts to then have a little bit of a retracement, then is when we could say we are on the way to the area of interest. Everything up to this point is we are on the way, 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 boom, at the area of interest. Now, once you're at the area of interest, then is when you go to the next step, and then you're going to actually be interested in executing the trade. But if you're not at the area of interest, you're on the way. And if you're not on the way, you're at the higher high or the higher low. Now, if this makes sense, type one, or just say yes or say no. Okay. So these are results. Everybody understands? Cool. So right now, the market, the way we are sitting, the way we've just updated it, which one are we? One, two, or three? This is going to be so crucial. We got a lot of fat fingers in here. I don't know what the hell you'd be doing with those fingers, but I don't know. Probably if I can make bread or something. I don't know. Have you seen the people that make dough? They have fingers look like they work out. Everybody, fill out this poll. All right, these are the results. 87% got this correct. I don't understand how 9% got it incorrect and 4% still got it incorrect. We're clearly not at an area of interest, so we can't be number three. We're clearly not at the higher high anymore because we were pulling back. And I just said we're anywhere like this, we're on the way, on the way, on the way. I feel like I was hearing myself repeat this. But yes, we are now on the way to the area of interest. And now is where the real top-down analysis starts coming in. So everything we've done up to this point is bullshit. Like we really haven't done anything. All I've just done is everything that I've taught you over the last 2 weeks is just put it together in one chart. Like we've literally done nothing. This is now where the actual top-down analysis is going to come in. Yes, we've been doing the top-down analysis. We've been doing the trend and then the area of interest. But now it's going to come in like, okay, like now we know exactly where this market is. Like we have it very clear where it is. And this is going to be the importance of this whole entire trading shit because you're going to now know exactly where the market is at every single given point, every single time you look at the market. And this is where, personally, for me, where I had my biggest aha moment, right? So when you have a market that is like this, right? Weekly bullish and daily bullish. I personally, myself, Alex G, I would much rather have a trade be executed at, well, first of all, yeah, you guys understand. So I would much rather have a trade executed at the weekly area of interest, the weekly area of interest, the weekly area of interest, much rather than a daily area of interest, daily area of interest, daily area of interest. Why? Why the fuck, Alex? Why? Well, because it is more respected. The higher the time frame, the more respected the zones are. It's like how you respect your elders. When an elderly person says something like, yo, it's gonna rain at 8 o'clock p.m., everyone's gonna be like, shit, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's probably been through 1,000 different rainstorms. Shit. If an 8-year-old says it's gonna rain in 5 minutes, no one's gonna believe him. He's a fucking kid. He doesn't have experience. He's just blurring something out. An elderly person speaks from wisdom. They have time. They understand things better, and they're more respected. Whatever they say, even if it's wrong, sometimes you're gonna still respect them because they're an OG. They've made it this far. You have to respect them. Well, it's the same thing with the markets. The higher the time frame, the older the market is, the more it's gonna be respected. Not because just a moral or an ethic thing, just because it's just facts. The structure is more respected and it has more legit moves on the higher time frames than on the lower time frames. It's just how it works. So I personally myself would always much rather execute a trade at a weekly area of interest rather than a daily area of interest. Now, I'm not saying that I will not execute a trade at a daily area of interest. I still would, but the goal for me would be to always wait for this. Now, we are in the event of this price right now, right? Let's say that it has a pullback into this level. Let me just get out. Let me get. Let me get this out all the way. So let's say we do pull back here to the daily area of interest, and we are here at the daily area of interest, and the trade looks so. Doesn't look all that I need. I don't have that many confluences. My entry signal isn't the best. What else? The risk to reward probably doesn't make sense. I won't take it. We're like, I'll wait for it. My job is to execute great trades. My job is to not execute every trade. I'm not here for a participation grade or for completion, whoever gets the most amount of trades. I'm here to fucking make money. And I make money on the trades that make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I don't take the trade. I'm not here to be involved. I'm here to make money. And I'm only involved when there's money to be involved. And 90% of the time, there's no money to be made. There's, yes, a market move, but there's a loss pending. There's going to be many times where you're ready to execute the button. And sometimes it's just better to not even click it. So you want to be that selective with your trades. I wish I understood that sooner. I wish I had that maturity sooner because I always wanted to have the participation grade. Oh, I sat in front of the markets for 10 hours all day. I got to get fucking paid. I've been here all day. Market doesn't know. Market doesn't give a shit. Market only cares when you do what you're supposed to do. And that's follow your trading plan. Now, sometimes you can take this trade and follow your trading plan and the trade still hit stop loss. It's part of the game. But if there's just something small, something light that turns me off about it, I'm done for. Like I could have a 10, pick her up from the gym. But if I just see something, if I see a fucking fake eyelash or I see fake nails, you're done. That's it. You can stay right there. Obviously, it's a joke, guys and ladies. It's obviously a joke. But you see, when I put an analogy like that, it makes sense. Like it could be the smallest little shit, and I'm done. I don't care. I don't give a shit. This is, and it's for women, it's different, right? I'll make the exception. But when it comes to money, oh no, I'm gonna be very fucking picky. So that is depending on the type of trade and so on and so forth, right? I just want to explain to you the importance of waiting for the right trade. Now, I'm not saying I cannot have a beautiful trade at the daily area of interest. If it's perfect, fuck yeah, I'll take it. I don't have to wait for the weekly. And again, this is where a lot of you guys get confused because you're like, but wait, you just said you're gonna only wait for the weekly. I said, I never said that. No, 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 no. I said I would much rather wait for the weekly trade. But if it looks phenomenal on the daily, I'll take it. But if it doesn't look phenomenal, I won't take it. I'll take it on the daily and I'll take it on the weekly, whichever one looks better. But this is where things get confusing, right? So before I continue, and all this makes sense, say yes. If it does not, say no. Perfect. These are the results. 98% agree, 2% the casual. All right, so this is where things get a little confusing, right? And this is why it's so important to follow market structure. Let's say this trade right now, we have pulled back to the daily area of interest, right? So up to this very point, to this very moment that we've pulled back to the daily area of interest, we have the weekly bullish, the daily bullish, but what ended up happening with the 4 hour? This is what the 4 hour structure looked like. So the 4 hour is no longer bullish. The 4 hour is bearish. For this pullback to happen into that area of interest, the 4 hour structure had to go bearish. The 4 hour structure had to have its structure to have the pullback. On the daily, it'll probably realistically look like this. It'll probably look something like this, and then like this, which will still make this bullish, right? Because this right here is not a lower high, and this is not a lower low. This is just structure within the market, right? We've all agreed and we've established that this is just structure because we haven't broken above or under the daily higher, higher, higher low. With the 4 hour to make it here, we had to go bearish. So the 4 hour is currently bearish. This is the lower low. I have to move this to the side. Move it to the bottom for now. This is the 4 hour lower low. And this is the 4 hour lower high. Now, if you guys agree with all this so far, say yes. If not, say no. I need you guys to pay very, very, very close attention to this. No room now for fucking around. %8 left. Okay, perfect. These are the results. Everybody makes sense. Perfect. Now, when we look at this market, we are still interested in it. Why? Because we have two time frames in sync. We have the daily time frame, the weekly time frame bullish, daily time frame bullish, and now the 4 hour time frame is bearish. Now, we still have two time frames in sync, so we're still interested in this trade, regardless what the 4 hour is doing. But the importance of this is that you know what the 4 hour is bearish for. You know the 4 hour is not bearish because it just wanted to be bearish. No, it's bearish because it had to have the pullback for the daily time frame to make it to that area of interest. That's why it's bearish. It's not bearish because the trend is bearish in the 4 hour. No, it's bearish just because it had to have the pullback for the daily. Cool. Now, let's say for whatever reason here, we didn't have a entry signal that we always look for, and we didn't have whatever other reasons we didn't want to execute this trade for. This market decided to then have a little bit of a push like this, and then boom, what happened here? What ended up happening here? Is this market still bullish, or is it, say yes if it's bullish, say no if it's bearish now? Yes for bullish, no for bearish. We're on the daily time frame. Okay. Now, bear with me. Bear with me. I think some people have hearing problems. That's what it is. That's why I gotta talk slow. I gotta talk right into the fucking mic. These are the results. So 80% agree, 17% I guess got confused. What I said is if this daily time frame has now broken under this higher low, does that mean that we're still bullish? Or does that mean that we're bearish? Well, to my understanding, that means that we're bearish. So this is what it would look like on the 4 hour. The 4 hour probably went bullish for a second on this little pullback right here, went bullish on this little pullback right here, but then it had to then go bearish again to continue with this move to the downside. So when this market went bullish for this move right here on the 4 hour, you know exactly what it was doing on the daily. Again, right now, you just have extreme awareness of what the fuck is going on. You're very aware of everything that's happening in this market. So now this market is bearish. This becomes a lower low, and then this becomes the lower high once again. Just take this shit out of here, right? Hang on tight, guys. Hang on tight. Shit's about to get a little bumpy. The weekly time frame had a little budge like this in the weekly, and then now it's just like this. So the weekly had one structure move, the daily had 2, 3 structure moves, and the 4 hour just went fucking crazy, right? So 4 hour is bearish right now, and the daily time frame is now bearish as well. So this area of interest right here was not respected on the daily how we wanted it to. We avoided a loss, or we even took a loss. The outcome does not matter. What matters is where the market is right now. So this has probably been a week has gone by, 10 days have gone by. Trade did not play out. You waited, went straight into your stop loss. And now this is where the market is, right? So the market is now bearish on the daily. Okay, cool. Daily, lower low, and daily, lower high. Now, the importance of this is you know where the market is. It's not like you don't know. Now, this is where things start getting interesting and people start making mistakes. So listen closely to what I'm going to say, right? We have the weekly time frame still bullish, right? Because this is still the higher high and this is still the higher low. We are yet to break under this. We are almost at the weekly area of interest, but now the daily is bearish. So the daily had to go bearish to get to this area of interest. It did not respect the daily, to get to this weekly area of interest. It did not respect the daily area of interest how we wanted to, right? Cool. It happens. It's part of the fucking game. And the 4 hour went bearish for the daily pullback, then went bullish for the small push, and then it's bearish now again, almost at this weekly area of interest. Now, let's say you go look at this trade. Wait, before I continue. If all this makes sense, type yes. If not, type no. Right? You guys are seeing how so far I'm not using anything new, right? I'm using the same box for area of interest and the same 2 lines for higher high and higher low. You're just seeing how important it is to understand it, because our decision that we're going to make with the market is literally all going to be based off of market structure. Okay, perfect. So everything so far makes sense to 99% of the group. Cool. So let's continue. So we look at this market on Sunday, right? Sunday swings pulls up because let's say this was a market that after you took the loss, you said, fuck it, I'm not even going to be interested in looking at it. I'm good. And you throw it to the bottom of the list. And it just does all this for like a whole week. And when you come back to it on Sunday swings, how I did, and you start analyzing it, you're going to probably look at this market and you're going to probably be like, holy shit, holy shit. This market has 2 time frames in sync. Daily is bearish, and then the 4 hours bearish. We need 2 consecutive time frames in sync to take a trade. This is it. This is it right here. We have daily and 4 hour bearish. Let's take a sell. Wrong. Well, Alex, what the fuck do you mean? You just told us that you can fucking take it. Yes, but and no. And I said this is where I'm gonna have to like trick you guys. You cannot take a trade. You cannot. Let me see how I say this. Yes, the short-term answer is yes. You could take these 2 trades in sync, the daily and the 4 hour being bearish, and you're going against the weekly. But I want you to understand that you're selling right into massive levels of support on the weekly time frame. Like you're about to reach the actual trade, which is the weekly pullback. So we've done all this for the weekly. You're literally at the point where we're going to be at the area of interest for us to take this trade. So the weekly is still on the way. Still on the way to the area of interest. We're almost at the area of interest. That's for the weekly. The daily right now, currently, we're at the lower low. We're clearly at the lower low move. So the weekly, what we would do is we would mark this off as the daily lower high and lower low. We'll start working our way back. And let's pretend like if this bottom point right here is going to be the area of interest, right? So now this is the area of interest right here. Cool. So for the daily, what we would want, right? So this daily area of interest would move on to right here, whatever. For the daily, we would want for this to have a pullback to here, to then sell. We would want for this to have a pullback to here and then sell. And for the weekly, that'll just look like this. Like it'll just look like the pullback won't even be seen on the weekly time frame. Now, you could definitely do that for sure, no doubt. But do you really want to do that? Do you want to take the trade against the higher time frame? Now, these are the trades where I come in and I start saying, yo, that's a degenerate trade, because you're basically getting the last push before it has the actual massive weekly push. Now, sometimes I could be wrong. The price could pull up to this area of interest and we can just keep going down and you could have had a fucking great entry here. But 6 out of 10 times, that isn't really the case. And I never want to bet my money on something that's not going to be the case. You want to always realize where you are in the market. And as of right now, we are almost at the area of interest on the weekly, and we have to respect that. So just because you have the daily bearish and the 4 hour bearish doesn't mean you can go and take a counter trend trade. You're literally trading right into a very strong level of support where the weekly is about to have a move at. And you need to respect that. And you need to not only respect it, acknowledge it, know what's going on. You know that this move now is basically at the last higher low. Now, whether it looks great for a potential quick sell, you can take it. By all means, you can have this as an area of interest and you can definitely take it. And I'm going to teach you guys how to take these trades later in the bootcamp. But you can't create a foundation off of that. You first have to understand how to do things correctly. Then you can learn how to go and do around things. But you can't expect to have results by doing things wrong. It's just not how it works. So if this makes some sense, say yes. If not, say no. Wow, it's fantastic. So this is very important And I'm glad that you guys are understanding it because this is exactly how you are going to know exactly where the fucking market is. Like I know at every given point where the market is exactly. Like there's nothing that I don't know where the market is. And this is great. These are fantastic goals. This is a 99%, right? So this one's a little bit rough. Let's do another one, right? Let's come here and let's do a different one. So let me do something like this. And it's funny because some of you guys might get confused right now. And nothing's going to change, but it's okay. I think we all understand what I'm trying to do with this, right? We all understand this is the 4 hour and that it has more structure. We all understand that this is the daily and it has more structure. We all understand this, correct? If, well, let me just put this up to here. If all this makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. All right, cool. So we're gonna take things up a notch a little bit, right? We're gonna do a little bit more of a speed thing, right? So let me just, I'm gonna do a little pop quiz for you guys right now. Pop quiz, right? Take your time, take your time, take your time. All right, cool. So these are the results. Okay, so this all makes sense so far, right? Cool. So we're gonna build this out together. Let me pause the screen. I'm not gonna say a word. Okay. Okay. So very clear. Okay. Okay. Cool. Pause the screen again. Well, okay. Okay. Cool. Sick. Oh, I did forget something on purpose. I just wanted to see if somebody has caught on to it or not. But I did forget something. But even then, the answer would be exactly the same. Right. These are the results. Not everybody filled it out for some reason. Maybe we're scared. But these are the results. 85% is correct. 7 and 8% are incorrect. So I did strategically forget something, which is the daily area of interest. And just for now, let's just put this right here as the daily area of interest. I want to see how many of you guys would catch on to it. Obviously, I can't tell how many of you guys catch on to it because the chat's not open. But I just wanted to make sure. So this is what it looks like here. This is what it looks like here. Right? Whatever the area of interest, we're still at the same point. We're at the lower low. We're at the lowest point. We're at the lowest point. Can we execute this trade right now? Yes or no? Yes or no? Are you sure? Think about your answer. Really, think about it. Sometimes the obvious isn't the right answer. Think about it. Think about it. You might be making a mistake. It's funny how I just changed the whole poll by just saying that. So these are the results. It was literally 99 and 1%. And as soon as I started talking, it that went jumped into 8%. People were changing their mind. Why? Why? Just because I said something, you're gonna let somebody influence your decision on a trade just because I'm more valid to have an opinion on a trade, you're gonna just let me change what the trading plan says. No, never let that happen. This is not ready to enter the trade. We have to be at an area of interest. And as of right now, we're clearly not at an area of interest. So this trade does not make sense right now. It is not ready. You guys are gullible. Can't be that fucking gullible. All right, cool. Pretty simple. Pretty standard, right? Pretty straightforward. So how about now? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Take your time. Take your time. Okay, these are the results. And I'm going to take the people that put 1 or 3 as fat fingers because clearly we're not at the lower low anymore. And clearly we're not at the area of interest. Like to me, commonly, I just can't fathom why someone would put that, right? I would, I just don't get it, right? So I would just assume that they clicked the wrong button. Am I forgetting something here on this market? Am I forgetting to update something on this market? Yes or no? Okay, take your time. Take your time. Mm-hmm. You guys are taking longer on this poll. You know. I'll give it to you guys. Take your time. I usually let the post go for about a minute, like 50 seconds to a minute, and by that time it should be done. But now we're only at 60%. People are taking the time. Okay, these are the results. 74% claim that I am forgetting something. 26% claim that I am not. And I'm here to tell you that I am forgetting something very key, very, very important. And if you get the bad habit of not understanding this, of having to always update it, you're going to fucking make a mistake and you're going to become a sloppy trader and you're never going to follow the trading plan. Ever. This is very important. I have forgotten to update the 4 hour. The 4 hour is not bearish anymore. If you notice, a body closed above this lower high or lower low, making this now bullish. This is now the higher high, 4 hour higher high, and then this is the 4 hour higher low. This is very crucial to do because now let's say for whatever reason the weekly is bullish, right? Let's just say it's bullish. You cannot be interested in executing a trade because you don't have two consecutive time frames. So it is very crucial that you're always updating these lower high, higher low, higher high, whatever lines, because it is extremely crucial for you to have a clear understanding of where the market is 24/7. So crucial. Well, part of the trading plan once we get to there is going to be the mandatory have these lines. So this is what it's going to look like, right? This is going to be the weekly lower high, right? Weekly lower high. And then this will be the weekly lower low. This will be the weekly lower low. This will be the weekly lower high. This will be the daily lower high right here. On the daily, this will be the daily lower high on the weekly. This will be the daily lower low. This will be the daily lower low. And then we can do it on the 4 hours as well if we wanted to. This is the daily lower low, the lower high, blah, 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 blah. Like now you know exactly how it looks. So you know exactly where the daily lower high and lower low is on the weekly, on the 4 hour, on the daily. You know where it is at all times. So if this market goes up here, you know that you're breaking the daily lower high on the daily. And you can see it on the weekly and you can see it on the 4 hour. Something that we're going to implement, once we get to that point. So up to right now, you know exactly where we are in the market. In the market, we are on the way to the area of interest. Cool. Sick. Now we just got to wait. You know where the market is. All right. Now let's say the market does this. Now what? Now, are we one like this market, right? Is the weekly time frame one, two, or three, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Just the weekly time frame. Are we one, two, or three? Take your time. Just the weekly time frame. I know some of you guys, after you voted, you realize you made a mistake. I know it. It's okay. 15 more seconds. Okay. These are the results. 77% claim we are on the way. 13% claim that we are at a lower low or lower low or higher high. And 10% claim that we're at an area of interest. Interesting. Well, let's start by the process of elimination. One is, are we at a lower low? Well, right now, price is not at a lower low. Price is creating a pullback. So we're definitely not at a lower low. I don't even know how that answer would make sense. We're clearly not here. If we were here, we would be at a lower low. Or if we were all the way up here, we'd be at a higher high. So I don't know how that answer makes sense. So clearly it can't be that one. Number three is we're at the area of interest. Well, this is the area of interest. We're clearly not there yet. But it can't fucking possibly be that. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, are we at the area of interest? No. So how can you answer that? It doesn't make any sense. Two is we're on the way to the area of interest. Well, we're not there yet, and we're not at the lowest point. That probably means we're on the way. Just simple process of elimination. Like it should not be difficult to answer this question. Now, why did you 23% get this incorrect? Please let me know. I'm gonna stress this so much because I thought we were there. How the fuck were you think we were there, Josh? I overlooked it too fast, probably because of the daily area of interest. But even then, I said the weekly only. It wasn't clear what one, two, or three meant, but we already spoke about it. Okay. I don't know what one, two, or three means. That's why I can answer the poll. Well, I spoke about it already, so I mean, you're just gonna have to watch the recording. All right. Now for the daily time frame, are we one, two, or three? Daily time frame, one, two, or three. And I'm gonna purposely leave it how we are right now. Look at it. Zoom into it. Make it one with yourself. Look at it. Is it one, two, or three? Now, let me let me re-answer. Let me rephrase this question. Because I can see people making a mistake. There's two answers to this. We just fucked up. Hmm. Let me ask you a different question first. Is the daily one or the other? Which one is the daily? Okay. At least we could agree on this. Fair enough. Let's start off by that, right? So clearly the daily time frame is bullish. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Cool, cool, cool. 97% can agree that it's bullish. So since we agree that it's bullish, this would become the higher high. And this would become the higher low. Cool. All right. We understand that. Amazing. Love it, right? Simple, easy. Daily time frame is bullish. And then the 4-hour time frame is bullish as well, right? This is the 4-hour higher high and higher low. Now, if we were to take a day trade on this, and again, day trade, we would be using or an intraday trade, whatever, we'd be using the daily and the 4-hour. So we're not going to be using anything from the weekly. We won't be using anything from the weekly because we're taking its own individual trade with the daily and the 4-hour shit. So we don't need the weekly for anything. We don't take it into consideration, right? So since we don't take anything into consideration from the weekly, what are we on the daily? Cool. So this is where I guess some people don't hear me, right? But I'm glad the majority do. And again, these Zoom calls are like this. They're just going to be rinse and repeat, different scenarios, different possible. But I know you guys are filled with questions, and I get it. And I'm here to make it the best that I possibly can. Everybody just click a button. Everybody vote. What's the worst that can happen? You can make a mistake. No one's gonna know other than yourself. And that's where you're gonna have to go and fix it. All right, cool. So these are the results. 77% put one, 15% put two, 8% put three. Now, why in the fuck would you put number three, right? Who did that? Who motherfucker put number three? Number three means we're at the area of interest. Even if we would be using the weekly, we're not at the weekly area of interest, and we're definitely not at the daily area of interest, process of elimination. So to the people that put three, slap yourself right now. Chop your neck right now. Hold yourself accountable. You know what? This is what we did the last boot camp, but we're gonna do it in this one again. Every single time you make a mistake, you're gonna hold yourself accountable. Chop your fucking neck. Do it. It's just gonna hurt for like a second, dude. It's not a big deal. Even if you're a woman, chop your neck. Because you're gonna start holding yourself accountable for making these stupid mistakes. Even if you fat fingered it. You fat fingered it, chop your neck. I'm not dealing with this shit. Because you're gonna keep making mistakes and you're not gonna get better. I guarantee you chop your neck a couple times, you're not gonna want to make another mistake. You're gonna think twice about using a fat finger. You're gonna use your fucking pinky to fucking vote. Now, if you don't want to hold yourself accountable, well, that's up to you. That's how much you want to take. That's how serious you want to take your success. So trust me, I hold myself accountable to this point in my life. And at this type of success, if you're not there yet, there's no reason why you shouldn't. Don't think that you're too good to not hold yourself accountable. That's the most egotistical thing ever. So if you keep making these stupid mistakes, hold yourself accountable. Right? Two, we're on the way to the area of interest. So you're wrong. We are not on the way to the area of interest. I said, do not count anything from the motherfucking weekly. If you didn't know the weekly existed, how would we even know that we're on the way to the area of interest? You don't know, because clearly we are at a higher high on the daily time frame. So since you're on a daily time frame, you would have to realize that we're at a higher high. We're not on the way to this area of interest. So again, you made a mistake, fucking chop your neck, like literally, like. And if this side hurts, hit the other side. You're gonna start chopping your neck every single time you make a mistake. It's the only way to hold yourself accountable. All right, cool. So now we know that we have two time frames bullish and one time frame bearish. We know that we are almost, so this is the daily higher high. This is how it looks like in the market, right? Daily higher high and daily higher low. Let's just put it like right around here. So this is how the market looks like. This is how it looks like on the weekly. This is how it looks like on the daily. This is how it looks like on the 4 hour. So at this very moment, you know exactly where the market is. You know that the weekly is almost at the area of interest. You know that the daily, it had to shift to go bullish to make it to that area of interest. And you know the 4 hour had to shift for the daily to do it for the weekly. You understand that's a chain reaction. Whatever this market does, it did it for this one. And whatever this market does, it's doing it for this one. It's a domino effect. It's just more precise. Now, if this makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. You guys see how you know exactly where the market is. Even when you see it bullish, you know why it's bullish or where it's bullish. Or when it's bearish, you know where it's bearish and why it's bearish. You know, when this shifts bullish or bearish, it's because it's creating this pullback for this time frame right here. It's crazy, right? Perfect. So all this makes sense. Amazing. If you kind of had an aha moment right now, or you're like, oh fuck, like I didn't realize that. Because you're probably looking at the daily time frame with its own thing, but you weren't looking at it with the weekly, you weren't looking at the 4 hour in this. Like if you kind of just had like your small aha moment, you can say yes. If not, you can say no. You can be brutally honest. Okay. This is great for me. If this is not your aha moment, what is coming next will be your oh fuck moment. Everybody vote. Okay, so 73% say yes, 27% say no. Hold that thought, 27%, which I fucking doubt it. You fat fingers. That's okay. We'll come back to it. So at this very moment, we've understood the basis of top-down analysis, which is understanding where the market is. All right, if the market is bullish on the daily and bullish on the 4 hour, why? Or what do we do with that information? Do we now take the day trade? Do we now wait for the little pullback to here? And then we then take the buy just up to here? Do we wait for the little pullback here to then the buy up to here? Like, what do we do with all this information, right? That's what, to me, the top-down analysis is to really understand where the market is and what's it doing and how is it doing it. So before I continue on with the next thing, if you guys have any questions regarding this and solely this is your moment. What can be the tiny little detail you ignore about executing the trade? We're not at the executing trade point. We'll do that later. So the daily was at 1 or at 2? The daily was at 1. It's at the higher high. I missed what 1, 2, or 3 meant. I was in the bathroom. Taking a shit cost you some money, brother. So to take all to take the trade, all time frames have to be at the area of interest? Yes or no? If the market, if the market weekly bullish, daily bearish, and all right, Austin, you're gonna have to watch the recording. Josh, just talk to the support, brother. All right, I'm gonna turn off the questions because I just got spammed. 1 second. All right, so I see some guys talking about column Hawkins. You're talking about the 1 hour shift. We're not there just yet, brother, so I can't answer that question. How often do you update the area of interest? Whenever we break through it or don't respect it. If we haven't reached the area of interest, there's no reason for me to update it. So normally we take area of interest from higher time frames into account. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. When the market comes back to the daily area of interest, we would be interested in buying here. Yes. What's stronger, 3 touches weekly or 6 touches daily? They're both completely different. You answered all my questions without even me asking a question. Amazing. On your free YouTube, you didn't mention the consecutive time frames. Is that something you didn't know? YouTube is YouTube. My strategy is strategy. Two completely different things. So if the bigger time frame is not in sync, we can't take the trade. No, not necessarily. You could still take this day trade. I take them all the time. I probably take these more than I take the swing trades. These are just higher risk. I'm going to teach you how to not take higher risk trades first, and then you can take the other ones. But here you would wait for this pullback to then buy. Here you would wait for this pullback to then buy. You just got to get out before we get to that weekly area of interest because you know there's a big potential sell happening once price gets here. So you got to make sure you get out before you make it there. Bro, this really was what I needed to understand. I was lost at looking at the market. Amazing. Bro, I can't believe you didn't. Okay, fire. This guy was like, bro, I can't believe I wasn't seeing the market like this before. It makes so much sense. During the elimination process, you mentioned you look at specific patterns. Is it 2 time frames in sync that you're looking for? Yes, I said that at the beginning, correct. But again, that's more in the trading plan. Now I'm just kind of teaching you how to do the top down. You just drop so much sauce. Trust me, this is very basic stuff. I want you guys to understand up to this point, I have taught 0 of my strategy. I just want to make that very clear. Like I have not taught my strategy up to right now. I've just taught you guys how to read the market correctly to apply my strategy. Not like there's no trading plan right now. This is not a strategy. I've given you guys a little bit of hints, you know, how to do my areas of interest and my trends, but nothing else. Would you say every time frame affect each other from the top down? Yeah, of course. Can we go over it one more time? We're going to go over it now in the candlesticks. Don't you worry. So would you buy this market or wait for it at the area of interest on the weekly? That's where when the trade makes it to either or, I make a decision. Like I don't just buy it when it gets to an area. I have to wait for my entry signal. This is worth every penny. I'm glad. Would you rather weekly bearish, daily bullish, 4 hour bullish, or all 3 of them in the same trend? Well, ask yourself, partner. Ask yourself, partner. If you have 3 fish going this way, would you rather throw your cast at the 3 fish going that way or at 2 fish going this way and 1 fish going this way? Where the fuck does it make more sense to throw your bait? Where the 3 fish are going the same way because you're going to have more odds of catching fish. If you have less fish going in the same direction, you have less odds of catching a fish. Shouldn't be that hard. My light bulb is flickering. Brother, I haven't even talked about the strategy. Does the time frame have to be side by side, like the 4 hour, 2 hour? Not there yet. Bro, all the questions I had the first week, you're answering them now. Thanks for waiting, man. Thanks for stressing me out. Just reading through some of the questions. Let me get a water bottle, guys. Give me a second. Bro, my legs hurt, dude. Hold on, let me stretch this. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Any more questions up to this right now? How can I have all three in sync and we be at the weekly area of interest? Great question. This is how you can have that. Boom. We're at the area of interest and now this is bearish. It's very easy. We have it all the time. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, AJ, for spamming that. Thank you. You're welcome. How does trading work for paying taxes? Brian, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. AJ returns Big L. Facts. Can tell dude's tired of yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, brother, please stop spamming. Thank you. It's funny, dude, because I'm like, there's no questions. Like, there's literally no questions. And I love it. Like, there's no relevant questions, and it's fucking crazy because I feel like it's so simple. So, thank you guys very much for that. Now, let's take it up a notch, right? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Why do I eat so much shit, bro? All right, cool. Ready? Dun, dun, dun. I'm not gonna say a word, right? I'm not gonna say a word. If you don't read and pay attention, you're gonna make a mistake. I'm not gonna make a word. And when you make a mistake, you're gonna fucking chop your neck. Like when I mean chop your neck, like I mean this. I don't know if anybody's seen me. Like you gotta like dun, dun, or you gotta like dun, dun. Or I don't know, bro. You gotta have something to like you have to hurt yourself violently to the point where you're gonna be like, Jesus, I should have not done that. You need to violently hurt yourself. Done. You know what? Right now, let's do it together. If you all made a mistake answering the wrong thing in this boot camp, just that actually fucking hurt. Now you got to do it. Well, I don't know if you're doing it or not, but I hope you're doing it. If you chopped your neck, put a one in the chat. If you didn't, type it two, because I feel like an idiot if I'm the only one that chopped my fucking neck. Okay, great. I'm glad there's a lot of ones. To whoever didn't chop your neck, you're a bitch. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally respectful. It's a joke. It's not that serious. But really, Do something to hold yourself accountable. Do it. Bro, I'm driving. I don't want to chop my neck and but who cares? Just flick your fucking forehead or something, dude. I'm sure we've all been through a little bit more pain than that. Like literally like flick your forehead. Like, I mean, I don't want to flick my forehead because I haven't made a mistake this morning. And if I kind of hurt myself for when I don't do nothing wrong, when I do something wrong, how am I gonna hold myself accountable, you know? Liquor bean, this guy. All right, cool. All right, let me share. I'm a Starbucks, bro. Who cares, man? Like, who cares? Who cares where you are? Does anybody at Starbucks give a shit what you're doing or what you're watching right now? No, not at all. No one cares. Everyone's in their own world. Someone right now is probably listening to music in that Starbucks. Someone's probably just on their computer, and you're just gonna be the guy chopping their neck. No one's gonna tell you anything, bro. It's not a big deal. All right, cool. So this is where you guys are about to really start chopping your neck. So don't do it that much because you're about to really hurt yourself right now. I will not be saying a word until we complete this top-down analysis. So if you are ready for this, put a one in the chat. If not, put a two. I just passed out after chopping my neck. Stop lying, son. Stop lying. All right, cool. So I am not going to say a word. I'm just going to do the poll. And after I do the poll, you are going to just answer it for yourself. So I'm going to turn off the chat and you guys are going to do this by yourselves. I'm going to give each poll 1 full minute for everybody to fill it out, right? So turning off the chat. Starting off with top-down analysis. What is the first step? No, I'm not even going to say it. 'The poll is live. 1 minute on the clock. Twenty seconds. Not that it's needed, but cool. I guess the first thing we got to do is the trend. All right, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Poll is live. Mhm. Those of you guys that answered the last one incorrectly, chop your neck. Even if you fat fingered it, it's your fat finger's fault. You might go take a trade, you might fat finger it, and you might click the buy instead of the sell button, or you might click the sell instead of the buy button. So chop your neck. 20 seconds left. These are the results. To the 5% that answered this incorrectly, chop ya fucking neck. All right, cool, cool. Now, remember, the next step, it is mandatory to have your lower high and lower low. So if you guys are in agreement where I'm going to put it, just simply because it's a lot more effective this way. Just say yes or no. Yes or no. Oof. Oh man, we're gonna get a big swing today. Oof. So many people are about to hurt themselves right now. It might send a shockwave across the earth. There's gonna be so much pain caused right now at the same moment because of one simple mistake. I wonder how this must sound for you guys, like listening to hear this. Like, how must it sound? You're just like casually going about your day and you're listening to this guy just talking shit. Like nobody around you's gonna understand what you're like, they're just not gonna get it, bro. So these are the results. 77% are incorrect. You should not be agreeing with me in this poll right here. So before I show you guys where, 77% chop your fucking neck. No. I gotta find the picture. Person. This has to literally be you right now. There you go. One of these right here. Yep. Oh, that's the perfect example right there. That's got to be you right fucking right now. You have to have that soreness right now. And if you got enough balls, you call your friend to do this to you right now. Because you've just made a mistake, 77%, because you just wanted to be lazy. You wanted to be quick. You didn't want to listen to what I talked about at the beginning of the boot camp. You have to zoom out. Look out a little bit. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Lower high, lower low. Oh. Oh. Chop your neck. It sucks. Because if this was bullish, right? If this market was like this, if it was bullish, you would have said, yeah, fuck yeah. This is the higher high, and then this is the higher low, or wherever this is. Oh, fuck, here we go. This is the higher high, and this is the higher low. Yep, wrong. You happen to get correct that it's bearish, but you got wrong where it's bearish. So make sure to always zoom out your chart. 77%. Chop your neck. Cool. We got step one. Weekly bearish. I don't know if I'm sharing the results. I think I have. There you go. 77% incorrect. Daily time frame. Next, right? Step two. Daily time frame. Go ahead and fill out this pool. Oh, dude, we're gonna have some people with some sore necks. Get it? No, did he? Get it? That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was really bad. That was not. That was not appropriate. That was not appropriate at all. And you know what's funny? As soon as I said that, the percentage of the poll changed. These are the results. 30% chop your neck. Chop it. Chop it. So weekly time frame. is technically, I mean, daily time frame is technically bearish as well. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. This is the lower high, and this is the lower low. If you guys agree with me, say yes. If not, say no. You guys are so gullible. Jesus. 30 more seconds on the clock. Remember what you put is you're gonna chop in. A lot of people about to chop the neck again. A lot of people. So many people. Not sadly at all. I don't feel bad at all. If you really chopping your neck, send me a video on Instagram of you chopping your neck so I believe it. If you're really holding yourself accountable. I gotta see it. I gotta see it. Because this is crazy. Here are the results. 34% agree with me and 66% don't. The correct answer is you should not be agreeing with me, because if this is the lower low and this is what I claim to be the lower high, you're supposed to be a adult and fact checked me. Cool. This is the head of the snake. What you're saying is that this snake is not going to count this as structure. It's just going to go all the way through here without going through that. That is damn near impossible for a snake to make it through there without having to turn through here first. So this is the actual lower high right here, because it had to come through this point to then make it up to this point. So this is the lower high. Once again, if you're wrong, chop your neck. Like, you're just holding yourself back at this point, because like we should have already been at the area of interest part, but you are marking off the basics of the lower high and lower low incorrectly. You're supposed to always do this correctly. Let's actually make it a little bit less thick. All right. 4-hour time frame. Are we bullish or are we bearish? Take your time before I even open the poll. I don't want you to continue to hurt yourself. The poll is now open. A lot of fat fingers in here. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna take this call real quick. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you. These are the results. 5% chop your neck. Chop your neck right now. Right now. Now, is this the lower high? And is this the lower low? Yes or no? Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And I can see why it could be some of the confusion, but you're gonna have to chop your neck just because you're a rookie. That's just really it. There's no other reason why. Some of you guys overcomplicated a little bit, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You have 25 seconds. Perfect. These are the results. 70% claim it is, 30% don't. Now I know where some of these 30%, by the way, 30% that said no, this is not right, chop your neck right now, do it, because this is the correct lower high and lower low. I get it. You might be like, but wait, you didn't check the two candlesticks. If it's two candlesticks and you go left and this and that. And the answer is this right here is a clean structure. So you only apply the two candlesticks, like I've said many times in the past, you only apply, and you probably didn't listen because you weren't chopping your neck from back then. I should have implemented that way back then, but whatever. You only apply the two candlestick theory when it's not a clean structure. Like you can very easily look at this and see how this snake is head here. Like it has to pass through here to get to here. Like there's no way this snake just doesn't go through that path. It just has to go through there to get there. It's literally, you can't just go through it. Like the snake could just go through this one can, like it could literally just go right through that. It's not a big deal. But through this, you kind of have to go through that path. Not kind of. You have to go through that path to get there. Same thing here. Like if you don't know if this is a lower high or not, just think about the snake. Like the snake can't just go through that. It has to go through this path to get there. Now, this right here, does it have to go through there or not? It can very easily go through there. This right here, you can't just go to the bottom of this move. You have to go through this and then go down. So chop yourself for just being a rookie and you're not putting in the work and understanding. And maybe you are putting in the work and not understanding it, but you still got to chop your neck just so you hold yourself accountable. It's part of the game. But this is the correct answer. This is the lower high and this is the lower low. You only apply the two candlestick theory when it's not clean. When it's clean, it's clean. When it looks like structure, it looks like structure. How do you define clean? How do you not define clean? Time is the only thing that's going to let you define that. Cool. So now we have 3 time frames in sync. Amazing. 4-hour is bearish. Sick, right? Sick. Now that we understand that, we're going to now go back to the next step. So what is the next step? By the way, you can see it right here in real time. You can see where the daily lower high is, and you can see where the daily lower low is. So this is the daily lower high, 4-hour lower high and lower low. That's how it looks like on the daily. That's how it looks like on the weekly. You can literally see it, which is the beauty of these different types of top-down analysis. So now that we understand that, what's the next step? 15 seconds left. Five, three, two, one. All right. These are the results. So 10% chop your neck right now. We already did the trend. We already understand where the trend is. Weekly bearish, daily bearish, 4 hours bearish. We have 3 time frames in sync. This is a market that we are interested in. Why do we continue to do the trend? Chop your neck right now. Next step that we're going to be doing is area of interest. Cool. Where do we start off? Well, we obviously start off with the weekly. That's what the whole top-down analysis is. We start from the top down. Now, obviously, we're in a bit of a pickle here because this is the lower high, this is the lower low. This market has already had the pullback. It's very confusing market. So we're going to disregard the weekly area of interest and we're only going to trade off of the daily area of interest. We already have the weekly's trend structure in our favor. So that's good. We just don't have a weekly area of interest that we can put right now. And this is going to happen. Sometimes there's no weekly area of interest that you can put. And that's it. There's nothing that you can do. You move on to proceed to the next one. Because if this is the lower high, this is the lower low, this price already pulled back to any possible lower high you could put right now into the fucking market. So there's no lower high that weekly could have. We just go straight to the daily. That makes sense. Before I continue, say yes. If not, just say no. Want to make sure that makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just never be too sure. Okay, cool. I know this is exactly what I wanted to see. These are the results. 10% don't understand. Cool. Please ask your question. What's your question? Just so I can clarify it. What is considered previous structure? So, Skylar, you're a little ahead of yourself. You're seeing my notes, and you shouldn't be asking questions about that because we're not there just yet. Can you say it again? There is a weekly area of interest. Yeah, we already hit it. Can you repeat it? Okay, so I guess what people just need is for me to repeat it and explain why there's no weekly area of interest. We don't search for a weekly area of interest. Okay, let me maybe if I do the example like this, right? So this is the weekly right now. This is what the weekly looks like right now. This is the lower high and this is the lower low. And it's funny that I got literally like the one market that's like this. This is very rare. This doesn't really happen in the markets. But the market's already bearish. Like this is the lower high, this is the lower low. You only want to look for an area of interest like on this first lower high pullback leg. And if this lower high pullback like doesn't create like the lower low, then there's no real valid weekly area of interest because it just stays within here. So the market's just is bearish, but there's no valid area of interest that you can put right here on the weekly that it would be respected according to structure. Now, yes, you can put something here for sure. And this is a weekly level of support, support, but it's not as like you could do it, right? I'm not saying you can't, but it's not the way it's not the proper way on how I'm teaching to do it right now. And we will do this in the future, like in the next literally next week. But based off of what I've taught you, I've taught you to base one off of the lower high and the lower low. And right now, off of the lower high and the lower low, this is the lower high, this is the lower low. This structure is technically already pretty much done for. Like it's already had the pullback into the potential lower high. anything else in here, it has nothing to do with this. Like there's no area of interest on the weekly because like let's say that this would be the lower high and this would be the lower low. This would be the Jesus. Let's say that this would be the shit. Let's say that this would be the lower high and that this, oh my God. This would be the lower high and this would be the lower low. Yeah, cool. We do have an area of interest in here for sure. Because we just do the box like this and we go like this. And yes, we will find an area of interest in here 100%. But since this is not the lower high and lower low, it's this, there's the area of interest already got hit because clearly prices already pulled back. If this makes sense now, say yes. If not, say no. And this is a very, very random example. As time goes, we'll answer it a little bit better. I don't expect for you guys to get this fully because it is a little advanced. When we get to that point, we'll understand it better. Cool. Perfect. So daily, weekly for now, no area of interest because there's no structure correctly how we do it. We'll explain that later. Daily, bearish, areas of interest. Now we have our, delete this, delete this. Cool. So now we have our lower high, lower low. We'll start working our way back. We're gonna have about this much time right here. Cool. Start working our way up. Dun, 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 dun. Boom. We have 1 point right here. 2 points. And I'm sure if I look more left, we have 3 points right here. 1, 2. So fuck it. This could be an area of interest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Daily area of interest 1. It's really that easy. Let's do it all over again. Start working our way out. And boom, run into the structure point. What do we have here? 2, 3. We can 1, 2, 3. Not the cleanest, not the best. I'm good. I'll keep it going. Boom, we run into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe we can get both of these zones. We can get this one and this one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. We have more taps in this zone than this one. So here, we're gonna make this right here. We'll just put 3 taps for now, or 4, however many we had. Daily area of interest, number 2. We have 9 taps. Cool. Keep it going. Just make this to the right. Keep working our way up, working our way up, working our way up. Boom, we hit this spot right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe if we do this right here, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, fuck it. 9. Let's keep it going, right? That's area of interest number 3. We start here again, start working our way up. Okay, we have 1 structure point here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe if we kind of do something like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Daily area of interest for 13 taps. Let's keep it going. Boom, boom. Keep working our way up. Okay, now we hit this area right here where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at it like this. Does it look that clean to me? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, kind of 11. Okay, fine. Again, there's no like perfect way on how to do this every single time. You just have to make it make sense. Start from down up, and now we're up here. So now up here we have this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, too far. I don't like it. All right, cool. So right now we have 1 area of interest, 2 areas of interest, 3, 4, and 5. Now, do you want to leave all these boxes on your chart? Absolutely the fuck not. So you're going to remove the ones that have the least taps. This one has 3 taps. Would you rather risk your money on a trade that has 3 taps or 13? I'll go with 3 all day. That's just me, right? So you take off 3. Cool. Now, should we even have this area up here right now simply because of the reality of where it is? Probably not. It's too far. We don't want it right now. We take it off. So now now it looks a lot cleaner. Now you see how we only have 3 zones. So we can expect for price to have a pullback to here to sell, here to sell, or here to sell. So now you know exactly what you're waiting for. You're waiting for price to come to area of interest 1, area of interest 2, and area of interest number 3. Now you can add a side note somewhere here, and it's like pending zone at whatever number this is here, just so you know that there's something there. But yeah, if you are an experienced trader, you just remember. So this is the next step, which is finding the area of interest. We don't have anything on the weekly. We only have on the daily right now. And on the 4-hour, we can't find an area of interest. If this makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. Right? Amazing. Phenomenal. Perfecto. Beautiful. Some more seconds. Whoa, not like anything would change, but yes, these are the results. 99% saying that they understand, which is perfect. Cool. Now comes the next step, which is the hardest part, which is round psychological. Box in the middle. Oh, what do we have here? 65,000. Boom, 65,000 right in the middle of there. Here, what do we have? 65.5. Boom, 65,500. What do we have here? Oh, 66. Boom. 3 round psychological levels in each key area of interest. There you go. There you have your area of interest set with your round psychological level. Now, I have a question for you, right? Are we, right? Let me just, so you can see the price action. Are we Are we Oh, gonna have some people chop the damn necks. 15 seconds. Five, four. Make a mistake. Put the wrong one. Chop your neck. Hold yourself accountable. Don't just stay in the air. 3, 2, 1. All right. And pull. So we have 80% that claim we are on the way, 15% that we are at the lower low, and 5% that we're at the area of interest. Process by elimination. 5%, chop your neck. We're clearly not at the area of interest. Number one, we're not at the lower low. If you notice, this is the daily lower low. The daily lower low is where this line is. We are not there. Price is not there. If price was like this, and we were at the lower low, okay, fine. We're at the lower low. Chop your neck, people that put number one, we are not at the lower low. If you put number two, you are correct. We are on the way to the area of interest. So now you know exactly where the market is. You know to not do anything until we don't get here. And you know that in order for price to make it to this daily area of interest, the 4-hour is going to have to go bullish. It is sadly going to have to go bullish to make it up into this area for you to be interested in executing this trade. So I'm going to delete these round psychological levels just because I hate them. It makes my chart fill up and I don't like having them on my chart. Me either. They're not very important right now. I just like to remove them. You guys should not remove them. You should not get into that habit, but just let you know why I'm removing them. So when the 4-hour goes bullish and it comes back into this area, now you know why. Now you know why it is at this level. And when it goes bullish, you're going to maybe say, okay, but now we have this one 4-hour is going to be bullish. And how you trade that and how you do all that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we're going to be doing in the next class. Ladies and gentlemen, that is today's class. I kind of figured it'd be this long. What'd you guys think? Fire, ass, simple, effective. What'd you guys think? My neck hurts. Sus. Quotes of the day. Chop your fucking neck. Chop your neck. Quote of the day. That was an easy one. Quote of the day. I'm a Starbucks, bro. I understand it, but I think it's better if I see the video. Trust me. Trust me, once you watch the recordings, you're going to get everything perfect. Oh, dude, this is all I needed to understand. I can stop the boot camp now. No, 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 no. Trust me, we still have so much more to go. You do not want to stop the boot camp now. Please don't. We have so much more to go. Trust me. All right, cool. So if you guys understand everything up to this point, say a yes in the chat. If not, put a no. Trust me, everything you probably need to know is going to be in the recording. I mean, not in the chat, in the poll. I'm sorry, in the poll. Yes, amazing. Amazing. These are the results I wanted to see. 99% understand. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being part of today's class, one of the longer classes. Make sure to pull it tomorrow, 4 p.m. EST. Watch this recording. I cannot stress to you how important this recording is. This is going to be probably the most important recording to be ready for the next step. Trust me, you're going to want to watch this as many times as you possibly can. I know it's 3 hours and I know it's actually long. And trust me, good things take time. And I would much rather watch a 3 hour Zoom call 10 times than have 10 months of constantly losing in the markets. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being part of today's class. Make sure to watch this recording, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. EST. Quote of the day, chop your neck. See you guys tomorrow. Set and fucking forget.